Hey, good afternoon, good evening, good morning, everyone. This is Elma, the non-tech techie, and tonight we have Diana of ZeroWork. So she's the founder of ZeroWork, and what I could say about ZeroWork is so far this is the easiest automation app that I found, and for someone who does not know any programming like me, this is really wow. And just to share with you that something that happened to me, let's say 5 years ago, I have this Instagram profile for one of my companies, and I built it up to around 11,000 subscribers. And then suddenly Instagram banned it. I don't know what I did, but it just got banned. Now, when I talked to Diana and shared that story, like she said, "Oh, with Zero app, this is actually it's actually what we can prevent from happening, like getting your Instagram account banned because they have a lot of safety parameters built in that so it doesn't look like that a bot is doing the actions, but it looks like it's a human who's doing it. So again, here's Diana, and I'm very excited. I don't get a lot of female guests on this channel, so I'm so happy that I have Diana here tonight. And Diana, can you please introduce yourself and Zero Work, how it started?
Oh, absolutely. Hi, Elma. How everyone? So excited to be here. Yeah, thank you for this invitation. Just really, really excited to share our journey and share more about Zero Work with all of you. And sure, let me introduce myself. I'm Diana, CEO and founder of Zero Work. And you will learn in a moment what it is. Zero Work is first of all, is a marketplace where you can offer your Taskbots. And currently, we have a live deal on AppSumo where we offer our Zero Work Creator app. That's an app with which you can build those Taskbots. And this is exactly what Elma was referring to, that apparently it's quite easy to use. So that even if you are not very technical, that should be pretty easy for you to learn. And we've got that feedback from many users. Yeah, excited to be here.
Yes, we are. So, okay, what I like about Zero Work are actually there are so many things to like. It's easy to use. On top of that, for non-techie like me, I don't really need to learn anything about coding because I really zero code. And one of the members of our group, Trevor, said, "Really, it's zero code?" I said, "Yes, it's truly no code because you're talking to me and I don't know any coding at all. So, I mean, zero." Okay, so that's really, really cool. And the third thing is that I mean, it's just so simple to use. I haven't seen anything as simple as this before. And another good part about it is that you can actually create your own bots and sell them on the marketplace. So it's like having your own SaaS,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So yeah, so that's pretty exciting. So it's not just that you can make your life easier, you can make other people's life easier as well. So this is what's good about this. All right, so
Yeah.
Diana, we can start now with the marketplace.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So, shall I then share my screen?
Oh yes, sorry about that. Okay, let's put it up there. There you go.
Okay, perfect. So just give me a moment. Okay, so what you can see here, this is our marketplace where you can publish your taskbots. So we have multiple creators who have published their taskbots, and now other users can subscribe to them. And this is so if you are interested in becoming a creator and building your own taskbots and also publishing them on the marketplace, this is a way to start earning monthly recurring revenue, and also, as Elma mentioned, make other people's lives easier. So I think it's also good to see here a few examples of what you can build. So for example, many creators, as you can see, automate lead generation and outreach on Instagram, Facebook, or also there is a taskbot, for example, which is pretty cool, that generates uh, answers using OpenAI. So it's AI that writes the answers and then automatically posts them to the questions on Quora. And that's a pretty good way to grow your audience or your authority on Quora. So anyway, that's the marketplace, and I just wanted to start with that because that's sort of the end goal for many of the creators to start actually to monetize what you love doing. And then after that, I can also show more about create an app. What do you say, Elma? I'll then move to create an app.
Yes, please.
So that's the marketplace, as you can see here. Now I can just switch to creating right here, and this is the place where you as creator can create your taskbots. So you just go to create an app right here, and let me maybe log out so that you can see the whole flow sort of. So when you log in or sign up or activate your account from AppSumo, you will see here these dashboards, and you can start creating a new taskbot by just clicking on create new taskbot. So before I start with that, I want to say that you also need to download an agent, and you can see it right here. It's a small, lightweight desktop application that doesn't have any user interface. So it's really just sitting on your toolbar here on top right if you use Mac, or top bottom somewhere here if you use Windows. And all that it does is just executes or runs these taskbots on your machine. But anyway, so let's see, how can you create a taskbot here? So let me walk you through this process. So let's hit create new taskbot. That opens this workspace where we can start drag and drop these building blocks right here that do some actions. And if you're not sure where to get started, you can always check this page here, help docs. And you can see that you have a lot of information here, including crash courses and so on. So I just want to point these resources to you. We have about 100 tutorials on YouTube, and even though ZeroWork is really easy to use, nevertheless, it's always helpful to watch a tutorial or two to really see how to get started. Anyway, so here I just want to show you something simple. I'm going to show you how you can, for example, save followers to your basically to a data table. A data table can be a Google Sheet or something else. I'll get to it in a moment. So let's say we're going to save followers from Instagram. There is, by the way, also on the marketplace, you can check that there is a taskbot that does, or several taskbots that do something similar. So for example, there's one that saves followers, and there are other Instagram taskbots which, for example, collect those Instagram profiles which commented or liked certain hashtags or certain posts. Anyway, so let me close that documentation page. Now, typically, you just need to think, what would you usually do in order to automate the process on your own? Usually would open that website, right? And this is exactly what we're going to start with. So you just drag this building block to your workspace called open link, and then you simply open Instagram. So I'm just going to copy paste this link right here. And I just want to show you first what happens if I enter it here and run this taskbot. So I'm going to do that. So I'm just hitting here run. And you will see in a moment how there is a browser window popping up. Had to move it from a different monitor. And as you can see, it closes automatically once the taskbot is done. So as you have noticed, I was not logged into my account there. This is because I need to use the settings here to actually enter the cookies of my account so that the taskbot can use these cookies and log in to my account automatically. So let's do that. So this is where I need to use this plugin. And all I need to do is just hit this button here, export. You can see there is a message, cookies copied. And then let me close this marketplace. And then I go back to the taskbot that I'm building. I'm just simply going to paste it right here. That's all I need to do. So literally 2 clicks, 3 clicks. Anyway, now if I run, and I'm going to increase here the delay a little bit so that we can see the taskbot staying on that page for a little bit longer. And this is how you can also play with these delays. How long should a taskbot stay on a page, on a profile, or wait until it should execute some action? As you have seen, now the taskbot was logged into my account. And now, for example, we could go ahead and open some profile. So I'm simply going to open any profile, really. So, for example, this one, it's really just a random profile that I found on Instagram and that we could use. So in this scenario, I could open that profile directly. Well, let's say I want to save these followers from here. So the way taskbots know what to save or what to click on, you just need to, the taskbot would just need to know what is the selector of an element that you wanted to click or save or whatever. So I'll start with, for example, following. And all I need to do in this case is get the taskbot to click on this button, follow. So I'm going to show you how to do that. So let's get this other building block, website action. And I'm going to select here the option called click, because I want to click on that button. And all I need to do is to say, what's the name of that button, or what's the text on that button? So I just need to type here text equals, and then follow, and then save. I'm also going to increase the delay here a little bit, and that's really just for demo purposes, so that the taskbot stays on that page a little bit longer and doesn't close immediately the browser, and you can see whether the button was clicked or not. All right, so I'm aiming at this button, right? And now let's run this taskbot and see if this works. So moving my browser here, but now I'm not using my hands anymore, so waiting for the taskbot to click on the button. Did you see? So it clicked the button. I'm now going to move my mouse to point you at this, so following. And same you can do with any other button. So click on message or anything else. Now, of course, I'm showing it in a very simplified kind of way. So we have many safeguard features that make it possible for you to use condition-based logic in order to limit the number of DMs that you send, or also make your DM slightly different every time it is sent, as well as also increase the delays, as you can see. So, and that's also something I want to show to you. So right now, I entered here 10 seconds delay. But in order to keep your account safe, you want to use randomized delays. So for example, I could enter here 60, where you see the max, and that would make the taskbot, every time it runs, pick a randomized time between 10 and 60 seconds. So let's say if you use a loop, or like a repeater, where you want to repeat through multiple profiles, then for every action, the taskbot is going to pick a random delay. So this makes it very human-like, and the platform cannot recognize it as a bot. So let's try something else. Let's try saving some data. So I'm going to remove this building block right here, and I'm going to save the data. This is how you can start collecting data to your data table or Google Sheet. So now let's pick the action, save to data table. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to click on this one. I'm going to save this followers to a data table. Just for demonstration, I'm going to save, let's say 5. What I need for that, I actually need to add a few more building blocks for that and set up a few more things. All of it is easy, so I'm going to show you how to do that. First of all, as you can see, before I actually click on this profile, on that before I can save that data, I actually first need to click on these followers. So right now on this page, the followers are not visible yet. So first, I'd need to click here. So that we could do by just using this followers word. And I'm just going to try doing that. So let's add a building block, select click action again, and this time insert followers. For those of you who followed carefully, you probably noticed that now I don't use double quotes as before. That's because I'm now just looking for a button with keyword followers in it. And before I was looking for an exact match, like follow. Okay, but don't worry if that doesn't make sense right now. You can see it in many of the tutorials. It's very easy to follow. All right, and after that, I can start saving the data to my data table. So here's where the data tables come into play. So you can see here there is on the side menu, you have an option to create data tables. Very easily done. So we just hit create data table and call it Instagram followers. And then we define our columns. And I'm going to say a link of the follower profile and their Instagram username. Instagram, like so. Create data table. For now, it's empty. And as you have seen, just to show you a few more options, you can also use Google Sheets, or you can import your own CSV with profiles which you want to interact with, or build a taskbot to do outreach on for you. All right, but we already got our data table right here. And now all I need to do now is to identify the selector of the follower in that followers list and save to data table, as I have already selected this action. Save to data table. I will save it as a link first to my data table followers and to the column that I called link. And now I just need to enter the CSS selector. So remember how before we just used text equals? Now in this case, I can't really use it, right? Because everyone has a different username. So in that case, I need to use a different way. So I just need to use a plugin, which is free of charge, called Copy CSS Selector. And I can simply do a right click like so, and then use this option called Copy CSS Selector, like this. And now, if I enter it right here, you can see this looks maybe a little bit cryptic, but this is the selector that this element is identified by. If I copy another one, just to comparison, you can see that every single element in this list is going to have the same selector. The only difference is that this number increments. So every item in this list has its own number. This is item 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on, which is pretty logical, right? Because it's a list, and it's a list of multiple profiles or multiple items. So for now, let's say I just want to save the first profile, all right? So I'm also actually going to remove that. This is a demonstration, don't worry about that for now. Once you dive in, you're going to see guidance on that. It's just because I need to remove the elements until the A, because I want to save it as a link, and A corresponds to the link. So again, don't worry about it if it doesn't make sense right now. This would be pretty easy to learn once you dive in. So since I don't only want to save it as a link, I actually also want to save it as a Instagram username. I'm going to use the same selector, but this time save it as plain text. Same data table, another column, save. And okay, now I think we're ready to run it. You have seen that the data table was empty. Now let's see if it's going to be filled with the first user name from here. Let me move it here. As you can see, the dialog was opened. I'm not doing anything. That's the taskbot navigating through the page. And let's open the data table. As you can see, the link to the profile was saved, as well as the username. So see how easy that was? And if you want to save a list, this is what I'm going to show you next. This is also very easy to do. All you need to do is to add a building block called start repeat before the action that you want to repeat through. So in that case, let's say you want to define your own number of repetitions and you want to save, I don't know, let's say 5 profiles. I mean, you can go for more or less. Just want to demonstrate how that is done. All right, and here let's get back to that question of, but this is only saves us the first element, right? Because you see this number here, 1. So this will always save the first item. So if I just run it like this, it will save me the first profile 5 times. That's not what we want. So in that case, you need to adjust it. And this is how it's done in ZeroWork. You just replace this number that increments in that list by a syntax that is specific to us, to ZeroWork. So you just need to remember that one. And it's just written like this: braces loop index dot one, comma 1, sorry. All that it does is that it tells the taskbot, okay, taskbot, when you repeat through that list, be sure to increment this number right here, starting from 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on, until you exhaust your number of repetitions that we defined here. So I'm going to copy that and add it to the other selector as well. So this one has not been adjusted yet, so I'm going to adjust it. Just paste it right here, save, that's it. And now let's run and let's check if all 5 results are going to be saved to the data table. So this is the taskbot opening the dialog. Let's wait for a bit for it to save the followers. As you can see, it kind of automatically scrolls within this dialog. And as you can see here, we've got 5 results, 5 followers. So imagine how easy it is. So you have a profile on Instagram, let's say, that is relevant to your business. For example, if your target group is coaches, then you go for someone who's a coach influencer, and automatically that person is going to have a lot of coaches among his or her followers. And then you save those followers. And then after that, as you have seen, you can do a lot of actions. So now you can set up a different repeater who's not looping through, who's not repeating through the list of followers, but instead it uses your data table right here and goes through those profiles and engages with those profiles. In fact, most users build quite sophisticated workflows. So the next step is very often to actually qualify these profiles first, because you don't want to do spray and pray and contact and engage with anyone. In fact, ZeroWork is built to help you build relationships and really just to automate that first initial step for you. So we make it easy for you to qualify those leads in the first place. So once you collected them, use this condition-based logic to actually go through their bios, go through their numbers of followers, and identify only those who really qualify, who really are relevant to your business, and then engage with them, help them get more popular first before you reach out to them with your marketing message. So first, like their posts, follow them, give them comments, and only after that, start sending them DMs. All of that is possible with ZeroWork. So you can set up actions like, let's say, you want to like at least 10 posts and make at least 5 comments on a given profile before you send a DM. So you want to warm up that profile first. These kind of actions are possible, and I hope this small workflow gave you a sneak peek into what you can do and how easy it is to set up. So yes, that's ZeroWork. That's ZeroWork Creator app. And in order to, and perhaps one last thing I want to mention, so how do you get from here to the marketplace? Let me show you something super simple. So here, as you can see, we entered the profile, right? But now I can just define a parameter here, which I'm going to call enter your Instagram profile link that you want to get followers from, right? And let's say for the testing data, I'm just going to enter this, and I'm going to create this parameter. And now watch, I'm going to copy this reference. I'm going to delete the link that I was using here. I'm going to enter it like this. And now I'm going to parameterize the number of followers here too. So I'm going to create the next parameter called how many followers do you want to collect? And remember, that's probably also not going to be the whole taskbot. You probably want to add something more, an engagement step and so on. But let's just start with something very simple. So this now can be published on the marketplace by simply going now to this page, which is going to follow a link here. Publish a taskbot, as you can see. And now I can simply select that taskbot right here. I can select the platform, Instagram, give it a title, select Instagram followers, add some description, and I'm just going to copy paste it here, like so. Add a data table that I want to make public for my subscribers. And for now, I'm just going to add some dummy video. Give it a price. Let's say you want to offer this taskbot for maybe $10. It's pretty simple, right? So we don't want to give it too high price. And let's say offer 3 trial days. It's a pretty limited period of a free trial, but hey, it's a taskbot that collects data. So if I give too many trial days, maybe people will get too much value. So 3 days sounds reasonable for me, for a taskbot like that. Now I just hit publish. There is a process to validate this is correct. And don't worry, it's not going to be published on the ZeroWork marketplace. For now, it's in an unapproved stage. So now our team will start looking at it, reviewing if it's ready for the marketplace, watching your demo video, and then getting back to you if you need to improve anything. But I want to show you how the end user is going to see it. So let's get back to the ZeroWork marketplace. I'm going to click on my Taskbot subscriptions right here. And you can see that I have here a Taskbot that I'm subscribed to. Now you may wonder, how did it happen? I didn't subscribe to it yet, right? Well, that's just because creators who publish a Taskbot on the marketplace will automatically immediately get a subscription to their own Taskbot, because of course you need it for testing, for seeing how the user interface looks to the end user. And so let's open it and see how it looks for the end user. Now they can see some instructions. We didn't add any of our own. They can add here their own cookies. And now they can enter that data, enter your Instagram profile link, and how many followers do you want to collect. Remember, those are these parameters that we defined here. And now other users can use your taskbot right here. They can also then just view this data table here with all the collected information. Now, obviously, this is empty because creators and subscribers are not sharing data, of course. So whatever your user is collecting, it's just for them. You're not going to be able to see it, just like they cannot see your data when you publish. And now as a subscriber, you can see I'm being charged for your Taskbot as a subscriber. I can run it. I can enter my data right here, but I don't see your Taskbot IP. I don't know what blocks you use there. It's very usable for me as a subscriber because all I need to do is really just enter these two pieces of data. That's it. And then I can hit run and start collecting my followers, start engaging with Instagram users, and start increasing my Instagram follower base. And at the same time, it's great for you as a creator because then your taskboard is then truly proprietary and no one has access to it. So that's how it works. That's ZeroWork. And I'm excited to see what questions you have.
Oh, there are so many questions. We have to put it
Okay.
at the last bit. All right. So actually, some of the questions were already answered by Diana during the demo. But let's start. Okay, from the beginning.
All right. Should I stay on this page, Elma, or do you want me to
Okay,
stop sharing?
um, I'll share your screen because you might need to show your screen for a bit. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, sure. Then
All right.
let's stay here and looking forward.
Okay. Actually, this is from, I believe this is from Joe. Zero Work and AI tools. Do you have a lot of tutorials on your YouTube channel? Say, for example, how can I use Zero Work to create to enter prompts in Chat GPT and collect the answers from Chat GPT as well?
Oh, yeah, sure. So let me just show it right here. So
Hmm.
here's our channel, ZeroWork. And here you can see we have about, I think, 100 tutorials. So quite a lot to learn anything you need to know. You can see we have various playlists, one for beginners, perfect place to get started. We have a very kind of structured playlist here that really goes through every building block, every data table rule. So if you're someone who's really methodical about how you learn things, that's great for you. There is a small crash course on selectors specifically and how to work with them. And we also have something for more advanced users, collection of tutorials, kind of random user questions. And last thing I want to mention is that your question about OpenAI. So here you see a tutorial. So just go to videos and then scroll down a little bit. You'll see here how to use send HTTP request building block using to get data from OpenAI. And it will walk you step by step how to integrate ZeroWork with OpenAI. It's a 10-minute video and very easy to set up. So I hope that answers your question.
I think so. It does. Um, so everyone, please subscribe to Diana's YouTube channel. It's at Zero Work, and a lot of tutorials there, hundreds of videos, and I was actually binge watching them just before we had the live stream here. I'm watching the crash course, and I learned a lot. So yeah, it's really good, really good. So again, thanks everyone for tuning in. Okay, now question here is, can you sell Twitter and Reddit bots or just IG, Facebook, Quora, and LinkedIn?
No, any platform, of course, absolutely. So actually, you're not even restricted to social media. You can also go for anything really. But yeah, as mentioned, part of our unique value is that we offer flagship safeguard features to keep your social media accounts safe. So that's why we put it a lot. We highlight a lot that those use cases that have to do with social media. But what you mentioned, Reddit, Twitter, yes, absolutely. You can build those and you can also publish them on Marketplace.
Okay. And next question, where can I put the task bots, social sites, websites, or can I add them in my live stream via YouTube or Facebook Live?
Where you can put your taskbot to market, I suppose that's the question. Yeah, well, really, you can. you can advertise your taskbots and market your taskbots as you like. So we have, for example, many creators that have their own Facebook groups. Let me just show you one, for example. So um, here, for example, lead sport. This is our creator Claudia, who you can see publish several taskbots here. Very, very valuable and also very sophisticated taskbots. And she runs her own group here, and where she interacts with her own subscribers. And this is how you can also market the taskbots that you publish on the marketplace if you publish them. Because as Elma mentioned, you can also just build automations for yourself, and you can publish them or you cannot publish them. That's really up to you. But if you do, you're free to market them as you want, even build up a certain brand around it. So I guess Claudia is a great example there too, because all her taskbots are branded with Lead Sport. And Lead Sport is a kind of brand that she uses for taskbots published on ZeroWork store.
Okay, now I think this is something very important for them to know. Do they have to have zero work for them to subscribe to these automations on the marketplace?
Yeah, that's a great question, because if someone just wants to subscribe to a taskbot, they don't need to subscribe to create an app. In fact, they don't need to know anything about it or learn how to use it at all. So what you've seen me do, create here, is what I did inside the Creator app, right? And this is also what the AppSumo lifetime deal is about. But on the marketplace, if you are a subscriber, or if you publish your taskbot and you have subscribers who would like to subscribe, all they need to do is just create a free of charge ZeroWork marketplace account. It's really easy. So they just go here, and when they click on subscribe, they will be asked to create an account, subscribe to this taskbot, and then they can see the taskbots that they subscribe to in this page here, just like I showed you, all this information. And again, they don't need to pay for ZeroWork Creator app. They don't need to have access to it. They don't need to understand it, or have anything, or even use it in any way.
Okay, so there's another question. What's the difference between zero work and Artila and RPA? And maybe we even talk about Browse AI or Automa, Bardi. So there are so many automation apps out there. So what's the difference between zero work and the others? And what makes zero work one of the best apps there is right now for doing automations?
Okay. So difference from Artila, for example, and I see you refunded them for their complexity.
Yes.
I guess their
Oh,
lives
not
are.
me. I haven't even touched them.
Oh yeah, no, that's because I have. I see the question.
Yes, yes. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, here lies the answer to that. So Artila is quite complex to use. I haven't used extensively their products, so I believe it can do a lot of things, but it is complex to use, and I feel like there is also not enough guidance on how to use it. So yeah, as you have seen me demonstrate, it's pretty straightforward to use ZeroWork, and it's easier to learn. We also try to keep it simple so that we don't overwhelm you with too many options. Um, and we've put a lot of effort into making our tutorials and documentation, because we know that ultimately, if you don't have an example that you can just watch and see how it's done, then any tool is done hard to learn, even a tool which is relatively simple. Because any tool that helps you build workflows or use condition-based logic does need some explanation. So we tried to put a lot of effort into giving you that guidance. And the user interface and user experience itself, as you can see here, is pretty straightforward, simple, easy. And I would say that's the main difference really between us and Artila. At the same time, I would also say that, of course, what's also important that may not be relevant to all of you, but to many of you, it's going to be really important, is that with ZeroWork, we also take really seriously the question of how you can actually monetize your taskbots. How can you turn that your passion into an income stream? And that's how we came up with the marketplace. Of course, that's not the only motivation. It's also because we see so much value for end users to just subscribe to ready to use, hyper convenient automations that just give you 2, 3 input fields to enter your data into, and you don't need to understand or mess around with any building blocks or any any steps or any logic. And many people are looking just for that. And that's why that's also a really important point. And I think the ability to actually publish your taskbot in a taskbot store where there are subscribers who could subscribe to your taskbot and where you can earn recurring revenues is quite unique. I haven't seen it available on any other tool that you mentioned, Browse AI or Automa and so on. And so to recap, because that was kind of a lot. So first of all, ZeroWork gives you an option to monetize on ZeroWork store. Next, ZeroWork Creator app is easier to use, easier to learn. There is a lot of guidance for you to learn. So yeah, but other than that, try it out yourself, and then you can compare these tools.
Okay. So yes, and it's okay. I can follow the tutorial, so it must be easy. Okay, that's something I must say. All right. Okay. Next question is: you did not mention earlier where is the company from and the team working behind Zero Work.
Yeah, we are based in Berlin, Germany. So and actually, I used to run a startup previously, if targeting manufacturers, and lead generation was pretty hard there. So this was the starting point of understanding how automation can help with that, but also automation that is done in a smarter way, not just spamming everyone left and right. That was not working well for us. And the team behind also in Berlin. So we're all actually based in Berlin, but we're an international crowd actually. So everyone comes from a different country originally.
Okay, so it's truly multinational,
Yeah,
multicultural. Yeah, multicultural. Right.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
that's good. That's good. That's good. Okay, and can we automate posting from personal Facebook profiles and not only pages?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Most
Yes,
users
you
actually do
can
that.
because this is not API, okay? It's really doing it on the browser. And that's a difference, right? With via API, we have a lot of limitations, but if you do it as if somebody is clicking it for you, or as if you are
Hmm.
clicking it, then you don't have the restriction of whether profiles only or pages only. So we just have to be very creative on how we use the automations in ZeroWork. Okay, this one I think we've already answered. Can I automate input to Chat GPT from Google Sheet? Yes, can
Yes.
easily do that. Okay, this one I think is important. Do we need to keep open our browser all the times?
No, not at all. So there is an option which is called Run Taskbot in the background. So just toggle it on. It's really just
Okay,
one
do
click.
you want to show it on screen?
Sure, let me show it.
Okay,
So let's go back to this workflow which I just built, and see here settings. Click here, toggle it on, and it's going to run in the background. So it's just going to collect data in the background. We won't notice anything of it. However, I also just would like to add that, of course, while you're testing and building, you want to actually see it. So that's why the default setting here is that it runs on your monitor. But once you're ready
oh.
yeah, that's why.
So once you are
Uh,
confident that the automation is 100% correct, then you can just run it on the
yeah,
background.
yeah, exactly.
Okay, now that's interesting. But
Because
how do you
when
use the desktop agent? Because I haven't seen you use the desktop agent yet.
mhm. This is this one. This is
Oh,
the
okay.
desktop agent, yeah. And as you can see, as it doesn't have any options. sorry, any user interface. It has only options. It doesn't have
Right.
user interface. So if I double click on it, nothing happens. That confuses some users sometimes, but just be aware it's really a very lightweight application here. All you really here is just to check what version it's on, check for updates. You can restart, quit, and that's pretty much it. So it runs in the background. It's also, it doesn't really contain any complex logic. It's really there to receive this workflow and the information from our system and to run it on your computer.
Okay, so that's nice. Now we talk about randomized delays. So okay, randomized delays is a nice touch. And do you support or do you have any plans to support other selectors like XPath? Okay, that's too technical for me. Then this is for you to answer.
Yeah, we haven't planned it on our roadmap yet, but we're considering this, yes, to add additional options so that you don't only add CSS selectors here, but you can also add XPath. Yeah, it's not supported at the moment. And there are also no definite plans for me to say when this could be released, but we are considering it seriously and most likely going to add it down the road.
And by the way, if you want to request for this expat thingy, you can go to the roadmap. Sorry, that's how I call it, expat thingy. That's really how not techy I am. Go to the roadmap and you can add it there and vote for it.
Yeah,
Okay. And
feel
after
free
your
to do
friends can
that.
vote too. It's like a popularity contest of features.
Mm.
Okay. Next is this similar to Selenium WebDriver?
Yeah, I guess so. You can say so that it's similar to Selenium. I mean, it's obviously more usable to use, and you don't need to know how to code in order to use it. But ultimately, it does something similar. Yes.
Okay. And how safe it is for the IG account? Very safe if you really do it safely.
Yeah, so that's a great question because we actually put a lot of focus into it because we find it so fundamentally important. Now, let me just show you briefly a few options. So one is randomize, as mentioned before. So let's say I can actually randomize these actions and say that the taskbot adds a randomized delay between, let's say, 5 seconds and 50 seconds. But that's not only that. With the condition-based logic, you will find that a lot of tutorials actually teach you how to set DM limits, profile visit limits. So with these features here, start condition, set condition, I won't dive into it right now because I think it would take a bit too much, and we have, I think, many other questions. But I'm just going to kind of tell you what possibilities you have. You can limit the number of DMs you send per hour, per day, per run. You can limit the number of profiles you visit, again, per hour, per day, per run. And you can also even pause your taskbot after visiting a certain number of profiles. Let's say you visit 20 profiles, and after that, you're going to add a another building block open link that's going to open a completely random website like Wikipedia and stay there for 10 or 20 minutes and then only come back to Instagram and continue with the next batch of 20 profiles or so. So you have many options to keep your account safe. You just need to follow those guidelines and be aware of that and use the features that we provide. Because as you know, it even doesn't matter if you use any automation or not. If you're abusing the social media limits or using it to spam people, then of course your account is going to be banned. Nothing can really prevent it. And just one last feature that I want to add because it's really important. So we've got a feature. So let's say if you want to send DMs or comments, we have spintax, and that works like that. So let's say you add several variations. You do it like so. So you say hi, hello, howdy, and so on and so forth, right? And that makes the taskbot pick a random word out of this, and that makes your message always be a little bit different for every profile. Now, for profiles themselves, it may not really matter that much, but matters a lot for spam detectors of the platforms. So if you try to send the same message on Facebook, and I will encourage you just to try it without any automation, like manually start sending the same DM to several profiles, you will notice how your message will either land in spam or very soon you're going to get an exclamation mark telling you, okay, so you can't send any more messages for the next 24 hours. And that can happen after just sending 15 or 20 DMs, which is not a high number. But as soon as you start varying your message just even a little bit, then that number increases substantially. And you can leverage that algorithm just by using our spintax feature, like so.
Okay. So yes, this spin tax is very important as well. Yeah, okay. So the next question now is, can I export JS code of the taskbot?
No, that's currently not possible. Feel free to add it to our roadmap. If there are enough other users who are also interested in that, we may implement that.
Okay, thank you. And okay, this is from you. He had so many automation tools, and the only issue he has is the CSS selector. How are you going to make it easy to find the selectors?
Okay, so this is the thing. I think this is almost unsolvable in some ways because it's really hard to get the right selectors, as you say, especially on social media. And I think, for starters, it's kind of easy. I also showed you how to use this copy CSS selector. But if you want to build like a really robust taskbot, at some point you do need to start looking into how do I build CSS selectors easy. And the answer that I want to refer to you is that we actually created a crash course called Build Truly Robust Selectors, and it's targeted at those users who are a little bit more advanced and maybe already did this crash course or built a few simple task boards to really elevate your skills, how to use our tool or actually any tool, because this knowledge of how to build robust selectors is really relevant for any tool that you may use. And so yeah, at the moment there is no easy solution for that other than taking some time and learning how to adjust your selectors in a custom way. And
Okay,
this is where you can look into this crash course.
okay then. All right. Actually, there are a lot of questions. I think more than 20 questions that we still have to answer. Do you have enough time, Diana, for us?
Yeah, I actually do. Yes.
Okay, that's great. Okay, so the maximum delay, is it only 60 seconds or can you increase that?
Oh, you can increase it to whatever you want. In fact, you can actually, in some situations, you want to increase it to something like 10 minutes, right? So you would just give it
Mm.
5,000 seconds or so. You can even that's really useful. So let me recap. So it's really useful when you want to say, all right, so after I send, let's say 20 DMs, I want to pause for half an hour, and I want to just get my taskbot, go visit maybe some other website, and just stay idle for 30 minutes. Then just give it this long delay, and it will do it.
Okay, good. Now the next question is, for the marketplace, do you take any commissions on sales?
Yes, we do 30%.
Okay. Well, that's reasonable, okay?
Yeah.
30% and very easy platform to work with. So, yes.
Yeah, and we also plan to, once we grow and scale, we of course plan to put a lot of that into marketing your publish taskbots. So yeah, it's for the benefit
Right.
of all then.
So this one is more of a feedback and a complement to ZeroWork. ZeroWork looks very sophisticated, but not as complicated as Cheat Layer, RoboMotion, and Artila. So thank you so much for that.
Thank you so much for that. Indeed, that's I'm very, very happy to hear this feedback because that was really truly my and my team's goal with this, to allow you to build not just simple things but really sophisticated things while still doing it in an easy way. It's a really hard balance to find sometimes. But yeah, so thank you so much for saying that.
Thank you. And what other types of data output do you support? Is it only text, or can I also open links, screenshots,
You
and
can
save them? Sorry.
data output. Okay, so basically, yeah, you can open links. So let me show you something. You can, for example, here select data table, and then you can repeat through those links. Remember that we collected right here. So you can use that as the data that the taskbot is going to be using, and can also save links. Taskbot can also upload files. So here you can define a file column. So there is a special column called file column, and you can see it also looks a little bit different. So you can now upload a file, and this file can be uploaded. It's kind of useful, for example, if you want to automate your social media posts. So for example, you want to post something, you want to make scheduled posts on Instagram, and then you want to post a picture. And screenshots, no, that's actually not supported, even though we do consider adding that feature. We just haven't yet found enough users who really need it or really want it. So feel free to add it to the roadmap. And again, if there are enough users who need it, then we will add it. Yeah.
Okay. And can we embed JavaScript in the automation?
This is a question that has been asked a few times, and we do consider it seriously. So far, our dilemma with this is that this does make our tool a bit more technical, but we see a lot of value in it. So we haven't decided whether we are going to implement it or not, but something we've been considering, and it's pretty likely that we're going to add this feature. No guarantee, but pretty likely. So again, really depends how many other users ask for it.
Okay, thank you. Now, can I embed my taskbot in my website as a button? So when visitor clicks on it, they can run it.
Uh, no, unfortunately not. To a certain degree, you can, because we offer webhooks. So you can check it in our documentation page. So you can just search here for webhooks, then you can see how to integrate it. So to a certain degree, yes, you can add kind of a button to your landing page, and then it triggers a webhook, and that triggers a taskbot run. So I guess yes, if you do it like that. But in general, we don't offer like, an out of the box widget or something like that that you can embed into your website.
Okay, and is a question from Poonam, like, hey, ZeroWork is very easy to use and it's very simple to create automation. So why would anyone want to buy from the marketplace instead of building one for him or
Uh,
herself?
yeah, that's a great question. Look, I think it's a question that a lot of us creators ask, because because we are the type of people who like building things and who actually thinks this here is really fun. So a lot of our creators actually really enjoy that process of building. They are like, oh, this is like a playground, and all these building blocks. And we also tried to make it sort of colorful and make it like a playground for you. And I can relate totally. So also, of course, I'm a builder. Um, and I just love creating things. But look, a lot of people are not like that, and or just they don't have time for it really. So even building something like that, testing, maintaining, updating, is just not on the agenda for most people. And even though it looks like it's relatively easy to build, but still takes you a few hours, it still takes some dedication to go through those tutorials. And if you want to build something really robust, then you may also want to educate yourself a little bit more about selectors and all that. So that's just not what most people have time or desire to do. And that's why marketplace is perfect for that type of end users. In fact, I can relate to that too. So I'm a creator, but on the other hand, I'm also a business owner. And sometimes I just don't have time for all of it. And even I sometimes think, well, maybe if on the marketplace there would be a taskbot that does XYZ, I think I'd rather just subscribe to it, because I just don't have time to build it. I don't have time to maintain it, update it, improve it. And I also don't want anyone from my team spend time on it. So here we go. That's my answer to that. That's why I think it has huge demand by a lot of people and a lot of business teams with lack of time.
Right, and actually, the automations in ZeroWork, it saves you also the cost of hiring VAs because these are typically the jobs that you give to your VA. This kind of yeah, the automation that you can create in ZeroWork, this normally is a VA task, and now you can
Yeah.
save on that. And say it costs $19 or $20 per month versus how much you pay your VA, then you can, and actually it is even faster than what your VA can do and more accurate.
Yeah.
So yeah. So the
Yeah,
next
absolutely.
thing question from you is how does the client customer report my if the automation is broken, and would it be removed after X number of reports?
So here's how it works. First of all, in your reports, you have access to all of your logs. So we didn't have any errors, so I cannot show you right now an error. But if we had, we would see here and all the details about that error. Now, if you publish on the marketplace, your users' reports will also land in your Creator app reports. That's so that you can provide support, of course. So if something is broken and if you see there is an error message saying such and such selector is not valid, then you know, oh, okay, maybe there was something that changed on that website, so you need to go and check and adjust. And by the way, if you want to add something to your taskboard, which is already published, you just need to click on this button here, update your published taskboard, and then immediately your subscribers are going to have an updated fixed taskboard and can use that. So that's how it works. And also they can contact you anytime. So let me switch back to the marketplace view. So here's my subscriber view, right? So I can always hit this button support. I can fill out this form and that will end up in your inbox and in our inbox. So we can check what's going on. And then if there is something that's wrong with your taskboard, you can go fix it and then simply hit update once you did that.
All right. Actually, there are a lot of questions, and I don't think we can ask all of them. Okay. Do you offer options to add proxies, VPNs, and extensions?
Not at the moment. So part of
Mhm.
it is, however, on our roadmap. So we do plan to add an option that a user can enter their own proxy. For now, it's not possible, but we're going to add that.
And
You mhm.
sorry, and then how about the reCAPTCHA? Can it be solved by a taskbot?
Not at the moment, but also on our roadmap to add capture handling out of the box, but not at the moment.
Okay, let's see. Thanks for the useful information. Okay, are you considering the ability to sell outside of marketplace or white label? Because this SaaS is amazing, and white label will make it irresistible and better than practically all competition.
Um, not at the moment. We don't plan to add it as a fully white label. Well, let me offer you a few thoughts on this. So, number one, if you have high ticket clients who you build custom taskbots for, you can simply, especially on tier one in AppSumo, you can simply create as many taskbots as you want and run them all from your account. And next option that you also have is send to another account. This is where you transfer the whole taskboard with all data tables and all to a different account. Those options you have. And if you want, however, to use it in a fully white label way, so let's say it's some sort of widget on your website, That's not possible at the moment. We've given it a lot of thought, but the thing is, a lot of our creators really appreciate being on the marketplace um, because it's just that there is a certain level of credibility, and that's also going to grow over time. And there are also marketing resources that we're going to put into promoting these taskbots on the marketplace. So it's attractive to many, but I totally get it that for some of you it may be more attractive to actually have your own, completely your own independent project. And I of course respect that. Go for it. It's just that we don't support that at the moment.
Okay. And next question is, do you have a Linux agent that we can leave running on a VPS?
Not at the moment, unfortunately. Yeah, we wish we could offer more systems, not just Mac and Windows, but actually let the agent also run on Linux. But that's not possible at the moment. We're looking into it, however, so that's also something that we're likely to add to our roadmap.
Okay. Can the automations do multiple simultaneous threads?
Yeah, they can. So let's go back to this list. Let's say I have several taskbots and I can just hit run on multiple of them, and they can all run in parallel. Now, be aware, of course, that they run on your computer, right? So if you go for hundreds of taskbots that run in parallel, that may make your computer crash. But let's say if you run what people normally do, 3, 4 taskbots in parallel, maybe 10, if you handle like 10 parallel accounts or so, that's easily done.
Okay. And okay, if I use ZeroWork on LinkedIn, do I need a proxy?
No, because the taskbot runs from your desktop, so it uses your IP, and LinkedIn basically registers that those actions taken by the taskbot as yours, because again, the taskbot uses your desktop and acts as you with your IP. At the same time, of course, if you are doing some sort of mass automation or you are managing for accounts of multiple clients, um, you may, I guess, you may in that case need to be careful with this, because you don't want to run multiple accounts from your own IP. And that's also the reason why we want to add a possibility to add proxy in the future. But for now, it's not possible. And the bottom line of my answer is that you don't need the proxy as long as you use it for your own account, for a few other accounts. And if you're doing something more service like for many clients, then you may want to wait for our feature in the future where we can offer you to add your own proxy.
Right. And by the way, where can I find, or do you have a list of those syntax, like the one with the curly braces? For example, you did with the curly brace, looped underscore index, comma, one, curly
Mm-hmm.
brace. Do you have a list of that?
I mean, it's less of a list per se, but
Mm-hmm.
it's more like, let me show you something. So first of all, you have some explanation here.
Ah,
And second, you can always click here. And this is where
right.
you see a little bit more explanation, some links. And what's usually very useful is just when you know that you need to save to a data table, then you just go to this icon here, YouTube, and then click on this. Okay, save to data table is going to be explained there, just to demonstrate to you how that would look like. And yeah, anyway, in that video, you would find then the explanation about loop index.
Okay. That's good, right? Because yes, it's very important that hey, for each building block, actually help is there, guidance is there. All we need to do is click on the how do you call it, the exclamation icon
Yeah, on
or the
this info.
info, right?
Yeah.
And I think on the top left, you also have some icons there, right? Like something like duplicate and
Oh yeah. There are also
where is that?
some here. You
Right.
can deactivate a building block, for example,
Mm,
or you can duplicate it. You can also select multiple. So if you just hold Shift like so, and then you
right.
can duplicate multiple, and so on. Yeah. So there are this kind of options also that make it easier for you to build Taskbots.
Okay, so all right. Let me see. I think this is also interesting. Like, okay, so for example, I'm selling my Taskbots in the marketplace. Can I also email my subscribers, for example, if I want to deliver some bonuses or if there are upgrades or updates to the Taskbot?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And we really encourage you to do that, by the way. So remember I showed you the example of Claudia with her own Facebook group where she communicates with her subscribers. That's perfect, for example, for that kind of communication. But also, let me show you another option. So remember we published our taskbot right here. So let's switch to creating. Let's go to my published taskbots dashboard. This is where we can see the taskbots that we published. And once I click here, I can see all my subscribers with all their email with the addresses. So right now, I'm the only one who subscribed. So this is also tagged with create a taskbot. But for all the others, you will also see who's on a free trial, who canceled, who's active, and whose payment is outstanding, etc. You can see also when this subscriber has subscribed. So this is where you can see those email addresses, and then you can just, I guess, download them and then use them in your own email automation tool.
Okay, that's good. Now, we still have a lot of questions, but I think we are both tired already. And what we do is, okay, please continue asking your questions in the group. That's one, and we will reply to them in the group. And another thing is, I will share the Facebook group of Diana of ZeroWork. I'll share the YouTube link and everything else that you need. I actually already put in the roadmap, where is the crash course and all that stuff, the important links. But I will again post everything in our group Sumo Deals and also in YouTube. So I think that's it. We can do the giveaway. And if you haven't um, filled up the form, sorry, because there are a lot of people today that joined, and we have 65 entries. Wow, that's a lot.
Awesome.
Yeah, a lot. Let me clear this one first. Okay, so now I will be sharing my screen and I'll hide your screen. Yeah, so this is really cool. A lot of people love ZeroWork. And
Awesome.
by the way, actually, Diana and ZeroWork, they actually organize hackathons, but they are now busy with the AppSumo launch. So when things are a little bit slower, but I guess it's always busy for them with LTD users, then we will, then Diana will organize another hackathon, and I'm sure she will invite us.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'll post it in your group, Alma, because
Right.
that's fun. I think a lot of you will love it. It's where all creators can create the taskbots, and it's a 4-day event, and then in the end you win prizes for the best taskbot that you demonstrate. And it's also a great place to just even exchange ideas and see what use cases people are going for. So it's a lot of fun. Yeah, hopefully we can do that soon again.
Okay. And for the AppSumo offer, there are two offers. We have a tier one and a tier two. And the difference is tier one is up to 75 taskbots, and tier two is unlimited taskbots, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and that's it. So if you have any other questions, please ask later in the group. And today I'm now going to draw can they actually see my screen? Yes, they can. I will now do this. And first, I will sort everything. People who joined are Abhishek Anand, Abiral Tiwari, Alberto, Aman, Amrit, Andrian, Andy Lim, Ankit Dixit, Ankit Jaitli, Ashish Busale. These are two, so I can delete one. Okay, Aswin Kumar, Aurko, Ayush Busal, Baradan, Bikram Lama, BL Samoto, Charles, Chena, Corey Sanders, Dan, Derek, Dinesh, Edwin, Faz, Thira, Hem, HM, U, Inderjeet, Inderpreet, Jao, JD, Joe, Joginder, Kartikeya, Kevin, Krishna, Krishna Swami, Lawrence, Leo, Mamta, Mizanur, Mubashar, Naresh, Ngohao, Nilayan, Om, Parisma, Poonam, Ram, Ranveer, Rosie, Rupesh, Sarif, Simran, Somashikar, Somya, Subid, Trevor, Truong, Tusar, Umesh, Valentine, and Wilson. If I miss anyone, say it now or forever hold your peace. Okay. Wow. Okay, so this is really a lot. I think I didn't miss anyone. Let's start. Shuffle this. And we are going to give away 3 codes tonight, 3 licenses of tier 1.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the first one is Derek.
Congrats.
So Derek Gross. So Derek, are you around? Can you please just say, hey, I'm here? Okay, we'll wait for it. Remove that one. And let's shuffle again. Next is Sarif. Okay, so Derek is there, and congratulations, Derek. Okay, so please wait until the end of the live stream, and I will give the instructions on how to redeem the code or how to redeem the prize. Okay, so we have Sarif gang. Is Sarif around? I cannot find him. Let's wait for him. So let me shuffle this one. Lawrence Giordano. Okay, is Lawrence around? Okay, so I'm looking for Sarif and Lawrence. Okay, I am not seeing anything. Okay, so I found Lawrence, but Sarif is not here. So Sarif, sorry, I would redraw the prize because I couldn't find you. Okay, last one. Hey, it's Valentine. Congratulations, Valentine.
Congrats.
All right, so that's it. I think. Is Valentine around? Valentine, are you here? Please say your name if you are not, because I think if this is you, you are appearing as Facebook user. Yeah, I think so. Okay, so we have the 3 winners, and what the winners have to do is please send me a message on Facebook with your open an account in ZeroWork, right? That's the first thing they have to
Mm-hmm.
do.
That's the
Right.
first step you need to do.
They have to first open and create an account on ZeroWork, and then send to me your email addresses. And once I have all the 3 email addresses, I will send it to Diane, and Diane will activate the accounts. All right. And thank you so much for tuning in tonight. I'm going to make a post later on in our group. And then you can ask all your questions. All the important links will be there, including the roadmap, the tutorials, the YouTube channel, the Facebook page, everything that you need for Zero Work. And we will also answer questions in our group. So thanks everyone for joining. I'm really, really happy tonight that Diana joined us. And we have around 60, 70 people who also watched us live. So that was really good. And thank you so much. And I hope that this helped you make a decision on or maybe I would say confirm how awesome zero work is. It's not really a decision, but this is a confirmation that zero work is really an awesome tool. And I hope that you like this and do join us again in our next live stream. We will post also in our group. Thank you so much. Thanks, Diana. Thanks, everyone, and good night.
Thank you so much for joining. Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye.